Yeah, welcome to this channel. Don't forget to like, to share, and also to subscribe to our channel. In the news today, Trump's threat. America couldn't do anything without our knowledge under my watch. Who said this? Obasanjo. In a veiled remark on the ongoing controversy over President Donald Trump's military invasion threat on Nigeria, the former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Monday disclosed that under his watch as the Nigerian head of state, late United States President Jimmy Carter will not do anything in Africa without his knowledge. It will be recalled. Trump, in a series of posts on X between October 31 and November 1, condemned continued killings in Nigeria, declaring America's readiness to send its military to Nigeria if the federal government failed to stop the killings by jihadist groups. The remarks, which has sparked divergent reaction from both the federal government and prominent Nigerian leaders and religious organizations in past weeks. The federal government particularly rejected Trump's allegations, insisting that the country's insecurity affects all religious groups. Speaking on Monday in Abeokuta, Ogun State, during the Presidential Youth Mentorship Retreat 6.0 organized by the Youth Development Center, an arm of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library (OPL), Obasanjo did not make a direct remark to the ongoing controversy, but he tactfully recalled how the U.S. under Carter held Nigeria in high esteem. Obasanjo and Carter, who died recently in December 2024, were regarded as best of friends. In January this year, Obasanjo held a memorial service in Abeokuta in honor of Carter, where he paid glowing tributes to the late US president who died at age 100. According to Obasanjo, right from independence, the world and indeed America saw Nigeria as Africa's leader, saying the country lost the confidence at some point before the Muritala Obasanjo military regime brought it back. Going down memory lane, Obasanjo said Carter, as the US president, would not do anything on African soil without informing the Nigerian government when he was head of state. They were not taking permission from us, but they will tell us that they are doing this, Obasanjo recalled. He said, when I was president and head of state, 3 American presidents came to Nigeria. They have not lost anything that they were looking for in Nigeria. What did they see? At independence, the world saw Nigeria as a giant coming up. Soon after independence, we lost that. When Muritala and I came into government, we brought it back. The Americans saw that there was the possibility of Nigeria being Africa's leader, and we were on the way. When I was military head of state, President Jimmy Carter was the president of America. He will not do anything in Africa without informing me. They are not taking permission from us, but they will tell us that they are doing this. We also recall that a couple of the then under 40 military leaders, including himself, were always driven by the belief that Africa and Nigeria must be liberated. We were young, we were idealistic, and we knew what we wanted for Nigeria. It was not about money. We were young, we were all under 40. All of us, we were probably a bit naive too, but our ambition is not money, Obasanjo said. Daily Trust reports that the retreat with the theme Africa and the conflicts in Europe and the Middle East attracted participating youth from across Nigeria and parts of other African nations. During the mentorship session, Obasanjo challenged African youth to be positively disruptive in order to take their rightful position in leadership across the continent. Citing examples of seat-size syndrome in Africa, Obasanjo told the youth to see themselves as leaders of today and not leaders of tomorrow. He said, you are leaders of today because if you leave tomorrow in the hands of leaders who are there today, they will destroy it. You won't have your tomorrow. You can see that happening almost everywhere. Cameroon just had an election. My brother Paul Biya is 92. So what are you going to do with the youth? Are there no youths in Cameroon? He referring to Nigeria. We have not too young to run, and they even made it into law. Those who made it into law are 80 years old and they are still running. When will you have the opportunity to run? Like I said to you yesterday, you have to be positively disruptive, and I mean that. Look, if 3 people are sitting and 2 of them start to press the one on the middle, when it becomes uncomfortable for him, it is either he gives the space or allow them to share. You have to be positively disruptive, otherwise you will have no role to play. He further asks youth to leverage their population to take over leadership position. You have the number, but the number will only matter when you use the number to your advantage. Obasanjo said, and that's according to Daily Trust. Those are good ones to, conscientize youths and to also motivate them. In the Africa of today, I think there is need, to allow the youth to come into power. But then those statements are not generally straitjacket, because even if you look at what is happening around the world now, America, for example, the president there is over 70. The one that handed over to him was over 70. The one that took over from that one was around going to 70, and like that. And if the Obasanjo is not trying to tell us that, look, the point is that the youth is the leaders of today, that they should take over their country. Let's look at where we take this present from. Even the so-called Western powers have refused to even relinquish power for the younger generations. At least we can pinpoint America. Of course, we won't say less about Russia. Putin is there. Only God knows how old is Putin now, going over 70, moving upward again. And the likes and like that. Aside from where they are practicing, monarchy, I think even their parliaments too, if you look at the age of who are in charge, and you begin to ask questions, like Obasanjo was referring to the fact that during their time they were under 40s. But right now in Nigeria, those things might be a little bit difficult, but it's not the fact, and saying that it will be a little bit difficult doesn't rule out the fact that it is possible. Because when the likes of Governor and President Tinubu were governors in Lagos State, the fasholas of this world, they were also young child. Even during democracy, the Donald Duke of this world were under 30, 40 then, and they were able to run their state. So if peradventure those who happen to have been aged, and though they are politically active, can decide to create a political succession for the young ones to come in, I think it will be faster and easier to get as young hands into government, and then take our country even with the best possible position, especially Africa. With the likes of Obia that he pointed out as an example. Of course, since they are the one in power, they've been able to restrict the youth, the younger ones, and they have no strength or the power wherewithal to take over. So what Obasanjo is trying to teach, that what he call disruptive tendency that he just mentioned, positively disrupting, is easier said than done. But be it as it may, let African youth stand up and let them begin to try. And as they begin to throw their hearts onto the ring, one day everything can come around to them. Of course, the Obasanjo has said they should take advantage of their numbers. With numbers, we can go so many places during democracy. Keep liking our channel. Don't forget to like, to share, and also to subscribe. Thank you.